Maybe you remember the soft glow of a Game Boy screen under the blankets, long after you were supposed to be asleep, or trading Pokémon cards at lunch, hoping someone would finally give up their holographic Charizard. Perhaps it was watching Saturday morning cartoons Ash, Misty and Brock on another impossible adventure, while you sat cross-legged in front of the TV with a bowl of cereal. Whatever it was, Pokémon found its way into your life not just as a game, but as a feeling. A sense of wonder, discovery, and connection that somehow still lingers, even now. But have you ever really stopped to think about how far that world has come? From those pixelated sprites on a tiny grey screen, to vast, open landscapes, alive with light, sound, and story. Generation after generation, Pokémon has evolved not just on our consoles, but in our imaginations. It's grown alongside us, reflecting who we were then and who we are now. Before we dive in, I want to quickly thank our small community of viewers like you for subscribing and liking these videos. We've reached over 150 subscribers, and our goal is to hit 1,000 so we can reduce the amount of ads that YouTube shows. Until then, YouTube can place as many ads as they want on our videos. So please, ensure you are subscribed so we can fight back against YouTube's ad interruptions. Thank you again, and let's continue into tonight's topic. Tonight, we're going to revisit that evolution from the humble beginnings of Kanto to the sprawling horizons of Paldea. We'll trace the path of every era, the breakthroughs, the experiments, and the ideas that reshaped what it means to explore, to battle, to dream. We'll talk about the worlds, the stories, and the people behind them. The myths that inspired the regions, the creatures born from legend, and the creative spark that's kept this journey alive for nearly 3 decades. Think of this not as a documentary, but as a quiet journey, a guided meditation through a universe built on imagination and friendship. Let my voice be your map and your memories the path ahead. We'll wander through tall grass together, drift across oceans, and climb the mountains where myths are born. From 8-bit chiptunes to sweeping orchestral themes, this is the story of how Pokémon evolved and how we evolved with it. We'll begin where it all started, Kanto, the land of beginnings. A young trainer, 3 choices, Bulbasaur, Charmander, or Squirtle. A decision that shapes a destiny. From there, we'll journey to Johto, where tradition meets innovation, to Hoenn, where land, sea and sky collide, and to Sinnoh, where time and space themselves hang in the balance. We'll walk through Unova's busy streets, bask in the beauty of Kalos, and unwind beneath Alola's golden sundae. We'll stand in Galar's roaring stadiums, and finally, set out into the open expanse of Paldea, a world still discovering its future. As we travel, listen closely to the little details, the rustle of leaves in Viridian Forest, the hum of a Poké Center, the sound of waves on an Alolan shore. These are the quiet moments that make the Pokémon world feel alive and remind us why it still feels like home. So take a deep breath, settle in, let your mind drift back to that first spark of adventure. Because tonight, we're not just revisiting a game, we're returning to a feeling, a sense of wonder that never really left us. A world waiting to be explored once more. Are you ready? Let's begin. Imagine a world where your wildest dreams could be captured in a tiny ball. A world teeming with creatures of immense power and boundless potential. A world where friendship and adventure knew no limits. That world, for so many of us, began in Kanto. But how did this phenomenon, this cultural earthquake, erupt from such humble beginnings? Let's rewind the clock, not just to the late 90s, but even further, to the mind of one Satoshi Tajiri. Tajiri, growing up in suburban Tokyo, was an avid collector, a hobbyist with a passion for insects. He called himself Mr. Bug, and the fields and ponds around his home were his personal safari. But as Tokyo modernized, those natural playgrounds began to disappear, replaced by concrete and steel. Tajiri felt a deep sense of loss, a fear that future generations would never experience the joy of discovery he had known. This feeling, this almost primal connection to the natural world, became the seed for Pokémonday. He envisioned a game where children could recapture that sense of wonder, collecting and trading creatures, not in real life, but in a digital world. He wanted to recreate the thrill of finding a rare beetle or a unique butterfly, the excitement of sharing it with friends. And so, Game Freak was born, not as the gaming juggernaut we know today, but as a humble magazine dedicated to video games. Tajiri and his small team, including Ken Sugimori, who would become the iconic art director of the Pokémon franchise, worked tirelessly, fueled by passion and a shared vision. Their early games were, well, let's just say, they weren't Pokémonday. But Tajiri's dream never faded. He saw the potential in Nintendo's Game Boy, especially its link cable, which allowed players to connect and trade data. This was the key. This was how he could bring his vision to life. It took years of struggle, years of near bankruptcy. But finally, in 1996, Pokémon Red and Green were released in Japan. The initial response was muted. The Game Boy was nearing the end of its life cycle, and the graphics were, let's be honest, primitive. But something magical happened. Word of mouth spread like wildfire. Kids started trading Pokémon, battling each other, and sharing secrets. The game wasn't just fun, it was a social experience. It was a community. It was a phenomenon waiting to explode. And explode it did. When Pokémon Red and Blue, slightly modified versions of Red and Green, arrived in North America in 1998, the world changed. Suddenly, everyone was talking about Pokémonday. Pikachu became a household name. Trading cards were flying off the shelves. The anime was a global sensation. But what was it about these seemingly simple games that captured the hearts and minds of millions? The core gameplay loop was undeniably addictive. You started as a young trainer in Pallet Town, embarking on a journey to become the very best, like no one ever was. You chose your first partner Pokémon, Bulbasaur, Charmander, or Squirtle, each with its own strengths and weaknesses. From there, you explored the vast region of Kanto, a world inspired by the real-world Japanese landscape. You battled wild Pokémon, caught them, and trained them, leveling them up and evolving them into even more powerful forms. The turn-based battle system was easy to learn but difficult to master. Each Pokémon had a type, such as fire, water, or grass, and each type had its own advantages and disadvantages. Learning these type matchups was crucial to victory. But the real magic of Pokémon wasn't just in the battling, it was in the collecting. The initial 151 Pokémon were a diverse and imaginative bunch, each with its own unique design and personality. From the adorable Pikachu to the fearsome Charizard, there was a Pokémon for everyone. And the thrill of finding a rare Pokémon, like a Dratini in the Safari Zone or a Mewtwo in Cerulean Cave, was unparalleled. It was a moment of pure joy, a feeling of accomplishment that kept players coming back for more. The iconic locations of Kanto became etched in our memories. Pewter City, with its rock-type gym and stern gym leader Brock. Cerulean City, with its mysterious cave and elusive Mewtwo. Lavender Town, with its haunting music and ghostly inhabitants. These places weren't just locations on a map. They were characters in their own right, each with its own story to tell. They felt real, lived in, and full of secrets waiting to be discovered. But the cultural impact of Pokémon Red and Blue extended far beyond the games themselves. The anime, with its catchy theme song and lovable characters, introduced Pokémon to a whole new audience. The trading cards became a playground currency, a way for kids to connect and compete. Pokémon became a part of the cultural zeitgeist, influencing everything from fashion to music to art. It was a phenomenon that transcended age, gender, and nationality, and the enduring legacy of the first generation is undeniable. Even today, decades after their release, Pokémon Red and Blue remain beloved classics. They've been re-released on multiple platforms, and they continue to inspire new generations of trainers. The simple graphics and the limited technology of the Game Boy haven't aged as gracefully as some other games, but the core gameplay, the sense of adventure, and the thrill of collecting Pokémon remain timeless. Think about it. How many franchises can claim such a lasting impact? How many games can evoke such strong feelings of nostalgia and wonder? Pokémon Red and Blue weren't just games. They were a cultural touchstone. They were a gateway to a world of imagination and adventure. They were the genesis of a phenomenon that continues to evolve and captivate us to this day. And let's not forget Pokémon Yellow, the special edition that followed, which allowed players to have Pikachu as a constant companion, mirroring the anime. This further cemented Pikachu's status as the face of the franchise and deepened the emotional connection players had with their Pokémon. It wasn't just about collecting. It was about forming bonds. The cultural impact was so profound that it even sparked conversations about animal rights and the ethics of keeping creatures in captivity. While the game itself didn't explicitly address these themes, it prompted players to consider the implications of their actions in the virtual world. The success of Pokémon Red and Blue also paved the way for countless other monster collecting games, but none have quite managed to capture the same magic. There's something special about the original 151, something that resonates with players on a deep, almost subconscious level. Perhaps it's the simplicity of the designs, the iconic status of the characters, or the sheer nostalgia that they evoke. Whatever the reason, the first generation of Pokémon remains a powerful force in popular culture. But the story of Pokémon didn't end with Kanto. In fact, it was just the beginning. As we journey onward, we'll see how the franchise continued to evolve, introducing new regions, new Pokémon, and new gameplay mechanics. And you might be asking yourself, could they capture that same magic again? Could they build upon the foundation laid by Red and Blue and create something even more special? The answer, as we'll soon discover, is a resounding yes. Because next we venture into the land of Johto, a region steeped in tradition and brimming with innovation. Prepare yourself, because the journey is far from over. Chapter 2: Johto, Tradition and Innovation. The success of Pokémon Red and Blue also paved the way for countless other monster collecting games, but none have quite managed to capture the same magic. There's something special about the original 151, something that resonates with players on a deep, almost subconscious level. Perhaps it's the simplicity of the designs, the iconic status of the characters, or the sheer nostalgia that they evoke. Whatever the reason, the first generation of Pokémon remains a powerful force in popular culture. But the story of Pokémon didn't end with Kanto. In fact, it was just the beginning. As we journey onward, we'll see how the franchise continued to evolve, introducing new regions, new Pokémon, and new gameplay mechanics. And you might be asking yourself, could they capture that same magic again? Could they build upon the foundation laid by Red and Blue and create something even more special? The answer, as we'll soon discover, is a resounding yes. Because next we venture into the land of Johto, a region steeped in tradition and brimming with innovation. Prepare yourself, because the journey is far from over. Chapter 2: Johto, Tradition and Innovation. The Kanto region. It was a proving ground, a place where dreams were sparked and legends were born. But what happens after you've conquered the Indigo League, after you've become the very best like no one ever was? The answer, my friends, lies to the west, in the land of Johto. Prepare to embark on a journey steeped in tradition yet brimming with innovation. This is the story of Pokémon Gold, Silver and Crystal. This is Johto. Stepping into Johto felt different. Kanto had a certain brash energy, a pioneering spirit. Johto, however, hummed with a quieter power. A sense of history, of ancient secrets whispered on the wind. You immediately felt it, didn't you? The shift from the modern, almost industrialized feel of some Kanto cities to the more traditional architecture and slower pace of life in places like Violet City or Ecruteak City. This wasn't just a graphical upgrade, though the leap from Game Boy to Game Boy Color was certainly a sight to behold. No, this was a fundamental shift in the game. Think back. The first time you saw the burned tower, a haunting reminder of a past tragedy, or the bell tower, gleaming in the sunlight, a testament to the enduring power of hope. These weren't just landmarks, they were integral parts of Johto's identity. Each location felt deliberately crafted, each building whispering tales of legendary Pokémon and forgotten rituals. And speaking of legendary Pokémon, let's talk about the guardians of Johto, Ho-Oh, and Lugia, where Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres felt like powerful forces of nature. Ho-Oh and Lugia carried a weight of responsibility, a connection to the very fabric of the region. Ho-Oh, the rainbow-winged bringer of hope, and Lugia, the guardian of the seas, slumbering in the Whirl Islands. Their designs, their lore, they felt different, didn't they? More regal, more mystical. But the magic of Johto wasn't just in its legends and locations. It was also in the subtle yet profound gameplay innovations that redefined what it meant to be a Pokémon trainer. Remember the sheer joy of discovering Pokémon breeding. Suddenly, your Pokémon weren't just tools for battling, they were capable of creating new life. The old man-day care on Route 34 became a hub of excitement, a place where trainers could experiment with different combinations, hoping to hatch the perfect Pokémon. And who could forget the thrill of receiving that first egg, not knowing what surprises awaited inside? It added a whole new layer of depth and strategy to the game. And then there were the new Pokémon types, Dark and Steel. These weren't just additions to the Pokédex, they were game changers. The Dark type, immune to psychic attacks and super effective against ghost types, finally gave trainers a fighting chance against the psychic-dominated metagame of Kanto. Suddenly, Pokémon like Umbreon and Houndoom weren't just cool, they were strategically valuable. The Steel type, with its incredible defensive capabilities, brought a new level of resilience to the battlefield. Pokémon like Steelix and Skarmory could withstand even the most powerful attacks, turning the tide of battle with their sheer endurance. These new types not only balanced the gameplay, but also enriched the world of Pokémon. They opened up new strategic possibilities, forcing trainers to adapt and evolve their teams. They added layers of complexity that were never present in the original games. And how about the introduction of held items? Suddenly, your Pokémon could hold berries to heal themselves in battle, or equip items to boost their stats. This added yet another layer of strategic depth, allowing trainers to customize their Pokémon to suit their individual playstyles. Think of the leftovers, slowly restoring HP each turn, or the Quick Claw, granting a chance to strike first. These items weren't just accessories, they were integral parts of your battle strategy. But perhaps the most significant innovation of Gold and Silver was the introduction of the Pokégear. This wasn't just a fancy gadget, it was a game changer. The Pokégear allowed you to check the time, listen to the radio, and even receive calls from other trainers. It made the world of Pokémon feel more connected, more alive. Remember the feeling of receiving a call from Professor Elm, urging you to come back to the lab? Or the excitement of listening to the radio, hoping to catch a glimpse of the elusive Pokémon that only appeared on certain days? The Pokégear wasn't just a tool, it was a window into the world of Johto. And then there was the post-game. Oh, the post-game! After defeating the Elite Four, you weren't just finished, you were just getting started. You were given the opportunity to travel back to Kanto, to revisit the familiar locations of Red, Blue, and Yellow, now aged and subtly changed. Imagine the feeling of returning to Pallet Town, seeing your old house, and then venturing out to challenge Red himself atop Mount Silver. This wasn't just fan service, it was a brilliant way to tie the two generations together, to create a sense of continuity and legacy. Red, the silent protagonist of the first games, now a formidable opponent waiting for you at the summit. It was the ultimate test of your skills, a fitting conclusion to your journey. But Johto's influence runs deeper than just gameplay mechanics. It delved into the rich tapestry of Japanese mythology, weaving it seamlessly into the world of Pokémon. Consider the legendary dogs Raikou, Entei, and Suicune. These weren't just random Pokémon, they were embodiments of the elements reborn from the ashes of the burned tower. Raikou, the lightning Pokémon, representing the speed and power of a thunderstorm. Entei, the volcano Pokémon, embodying the fiery rage of an eruption. And Suicune, the aurora Pokémon, symbolizing the purity and healing power of water. Their designs were inspired by Japanese folklore, their stories steeped in ancient legends. They felt like more than just Pokémon, they felt like deities, guardians of the natural world. And let's not forget the kimono girls of Ecruteak City. These graceful dancers weren't just there for show, they were keepers of tradition, guardians of the legendary Pokémon of the Bell Tower and the Burn Tower. Their dances were a ritual, a way to honor the past and to maintain the balance between the natural world and the human world. Their connection to Ho-Oh and Lugia added a layer of mystique to the game, reminding us that the world of Pokémon was more than just battles and training. It was a world of ancient secrets and forgotten traditions. Even the names of the cities and towns in Johto reflected this connection to Japanese culture. Ecruteak City, with its traditional architecture and its focus on history, felt like a portal to the past. Violet City, with its Sprout Tower and its connection to the legendary Pokémon, felt like a place of spiritual significance. Johto was a world that felt both familiar and foreign, a place where the modern and the ancient coexisted in harmony. And then there was Crystal, the enhanced version of Gold and Silver. While it didn't introduce any groundbreaking new features, it did refine and polish the existing ones. For the first time, players could choose to play as a female character, a small but significant step towards greater representation. It made the game more accessible to a wider audience, allowing players to truly immerse themselves in the world of Pokémon. Crystal also introduced animated Pokémon sprites, bringing the creatures to life in a way that had never been seen before. Seeing your Pokémon move and react in battle added a new level of immersion, making the experience even more engaging. And let's not forget the introduction of the Mystery Gift, a feature that allowed players to receive special items and Pokémon via the Game Boy Color's infrared port. This was a precursor to modern-day event distributions, a way to connect with other players and to share in the excitement of the game. Crystal wasn't just a rehash of Gold and Silver, it was a celebration of everything that made those games so special. It was a love letter to the fans, a testament to the enduring power of the Pokémon franchise. But perhaps the most enduring legacy of Johto is the sense of community it fostered. Gold, Silver, and Crystal were games that were meant to be shared. Trading Pokémon with friends, battling against rivals, and exploring the world together were all integral parts of the experience. The limited connectivity of the Game Boy Color forced players to interact with each other in the real world. You had to find someone with a link cable, arrange a time to meet, and physically trade Pokémon. This created a sense of camaraderie, a shared experience that transcended the virtual world. And even today, years after the release of Gold, Silver, and Crystal, the community continues to thrive. Fans gather online to discuss strategies, share memories, and even create their own ROM hacks and fan games. The spirit of Johto lives on, a testament to the enduring power of these classic games. You see, Johto wasn't just about catching Pokémon and defeating the Elite Four, it was about embarking on a journey of self-discovery, about forging friendships, and about experiencing the magic of the Pokémon world in a whole new way. It was about tradition meeting innovation, about the past informing the future. It was, in many ways, the perfect evolution of the Pokémon formula. But what happens when that formula is pushed to its absolute limits? What happens when the very fabric of the Pokémon world is threatened? Next, we venture into the region of Hoenn, a land of extreme weather and ancient secrets, where the battle between nature and technology will change everything you thought you knew about Pokémon. Chapter 3. Hoenn, a world of extremes. Hoenn, a region sculpted by extremes, fiery volcanoes kissing the sky and deep ocean trenches swallowing the light. After our journey through Johto's history and tradition, it's time to set sail for a land where nature's raw power takes center stage. Remember those feelings of wonder you had exploring Kanto and the quiet charm of Johto? Well, prepare yourself. Hoenn is different. It's bolder, more vibrant, and teeming with Pokémon adapted to thrive in its harsh environments. Think back to the classic Game Boy Advance, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. For many, these titles represent a turning point, a significant leap forward for the entire franchise. But why? What makes Hoenn so unforgettable? It starts with the weather. Remember those gentle sprinkles in previous games? Forget them. Hoenn throws down torrential rain, blinding sandstorms, and scorching sunshine. These aren't just cosmetic effects, they fundamentally change how you battle and explore. Imagine this. You're trekking through Route 11-9, the rain is coming down in sheets, blurring your vision. Suddenly, a cast form appears, its form shifting with the downpour. This isn't just a random encounter, it's an ecosystem reacting to its environment, and you're right in the middle of it. The weather isn't just a backdrop, it's an active participant in your journey. It impacts Pokémon abilities, alters move effectiveness, and even reveals hidden areas. It's a constant reminder that you're a visitor in a world governed by forces far greater than yourself. And then there are the secret bases. Remember wishing you could personalize your Pokémon adventure? Hoenn let you do just that. Hidden within the region's many nooks and crannies were secret spots, perfect for creating your own personal hideaway. Imagine finding a cozy cave in a forest, decorating it with plush carpets, training dummies, and even computer terminals. It was your space, your sanctuary, a place to unwind after a grueling battle or strategize your next move. These bases weren't just for show either. You could connect with friends, battle their teams in your base, and even participate in flag-snagging minigames. It added a social layer to the single-player experience, fostering a sense of community and friendly competition. But perhaps the most striking aspect of Hoenn is its legendary Pokémon. Groudon, the embodiment of the land, and Kyogre, the master of the sea. Two titans locked in an eternal struggle, their conflict threatening to tear the world apart. Think about the sheer scale of this conflict. Groudon, with its fiery presence, capable of scorching the earth and expanding the land. Kyogre, a colossal leviathan able to summon torrential downpours and submerge entire regions beneath the waves. These aren't just powerful creatures, they're forces of nature, living embodiments of the land and sea. Their battle isn't just a clash of power, it's a fundamental conflict between opposing forces, a battle for the very balance of the world. And you, a young trainer, are caught in the middle. You're tasked with unraveling the mysteries of their conflict, understanding their motivations, and ultimately finding a way to restore balance to Hoenn. The narrative in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald is deeper and more complex than anything we'd seen before. It explores themes of environmentalism, the dangers of unchecked ambition, and the delicate balance between nature and technology. Team Magma, driven by their desire to expand the land, seek to awaken Groudon and reshape the world in their image. Team Aqua, equally zealous, aim to unleash Kyogre and return the world to its primordial oceanic state. Both teams believe they are acting in the best interests of the world, but their actions threaten to destroy everything in their path. It forces you to question their motives, to consider the consequences of their actions, and to ultimately decide what you believe is the right path. The conflict between Team Magma and Team Aqua isn't just a simple case of good versus evil. It's a nuanced exploration of opposing ideologies, a reflection of real-world debates about environmentalism and the role of humanity in shaping the planet. Emerald took this narrative even further, introducing Rayquaza, the sky-high Pokémon, a dragon-like being who descended from the heavens to quell the fighting between Groudon and Kyogre. Rayquaza represented balance, the harmony between land and sea, a force greater than either individual titan. Imagine witnessing Rayquaza's descent, a swirling vortex of green energy piercing the sky, silencing the raging storms and calming the earth-shattering tremors. It's a moment of awe-inspiring power, a testament to the importance of balance and the interconnectedness of all things. Hoenn wasn't just about catching Pokémon and battling gyms, it was about experiencing a world that felt alive, a world shaped by powerful forces and driven by complex motivations. It was about understanding the delicate balance between nature and technology, and the consequences of disrupting that balance. The Pokémon designs in Hoenn also reflected this theme of extremes. Think of Camerupt, the volcano Pokémon, its back erupting with molten rock. Or Sharpedo, the torpedo Pokémon, streamlined and aggressive, perfectly adapted for hunting in the deep sea. These weren't just creatures designed to look cool, they were reflections of their environment, embodiments of the forces that shaped the Hoenn region. They were a testament to the power of adaptation and the diversity of life in extreme environments. But what truly elevated Hoenn was its sense of adventure. The region was vast and diverse, filled with hidden locations, challenging puzzles, and secrets waiting to be uncovered. Remember diving into the depths of the ocean, exploring underwater caves, and discovering ancient ruins? Or soaring through the sky on the back of Latios or Latias, witnessing the region from a breathtaking perspective? Hoenn encouraged exploration, rewarding curiosity with rare Pokémon, powerful items, and glimpses into the region's rich history. It was a world that felt truly explorable, a place where every corner held the potential for discovery. The music of Hoenn played a crucial role in creating this immersive experience. From the upbeat melodies of Lily Cove City to the haunting themes of the underwater caves, the soundtrack perfectly captured the mood and atmosphere of the region. The music wasn't just background noise, it was an integral part of the experience, enhancing the sense of adventure, mystery, and wonder. It's a soundtrack that many fans still listen to today, a testament to its enduring quality and emotional impact. And let's not forget the Pokémon League. The Elite Four in Hoenn were a formidable challenge, each member specializing in a different type, forcing you to adapt your strategy and utilize your entire team. The champion, Wallace, was a master of water-type Pokémon, his team a perfect reflection of the Hoenn region's aquatic nature. Defeating him was a true test of skill and determination, a culmination of everything you had learned throughout your journey. Hoenn was a world of extremes, a region shaped by powerful forces and teeming with diverse life. It was a place where nature reigned supreme, where technology threatened to disrupt the balance, and where a young trainer could rise to become a legend. But beyond the weather, the secret bases, and the legendary Pokémon, Hoenn offered something more profound, a sense of connection to the natural world. It reminded us of the importance of protecting our planet, of understanding the delicate balance of ecosystems, and of respecting the power of nature. The themes of nature versus technology, so prevalent in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, resonate even more strongly today. As we face the challenges of climate change and environmental degradation, Hoenn serves as a reminder of the importance of preserving our planet for future generations. The impact of Hoenn on the Pokémon franchise is undeniable. It introduced new gameplay mechanics, expanded the narrative possibilities, and created a world that felt both familiar and refreshingly new. It's a region that continues to inspire and captivate fans, a testament to the creativity and vision of the developers. Hoenn remains a beloved chapter in the Pokémon saga, a reminder of the power of adventure, the importance of balance, and the enduring appeal of these pocket monsters. Think about the countless hours you spent exploring Hoenn, battling trainers, and catching Pokémon. Remember the thrill of discovering a secret base, the awe of witnessing Rayquaza's descent, and the satisfaction of defeating the Elite Four. These memories are more than just nostalgia, they're a testament to the power of storytelling, the magic of world building, and the enduring appeal of the Pokémon franchise. Hoenn captured our imaginations and left an indelible mark on our hearts. But the story doesn't end there. While Hoenn explored the themes of nature versus technology, the next chapter takes us to a region steeped in mythology where the very fabric of reality is threatened. Imagine a world where legends come to life, where ancient myths intertwine with the present, and where the fate of the universe rests on your shoulders. This is the world of Sinnoh, a region waiting to be explored. What mysteries does it hold? Prepare yourself, because next we unveil Sinnoh and its myths and legends. Chapter 4: Sinnoh, Myths and Legends. The Sinnoh region, a land steeped in mythology, where ancient tales whisper on the wind and legends are etched into the very landscape. This is the world of Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, the fourth generation of Pokémon that dared to delve into the creation of the universe itself. Forget battling gym leaders for a moment. Forget even the Elite Four. Sinnoh asks you to consider something far grander, the origin of all things. Have you ever looked up at the night sky and wondered about the stars? About where we came from? Sinnoh takes that wonder and weaves it into the heart of its story. This isn't just about catching Pokémon. It's about understanding their place in a world shaped by forces beyond human comprehension. It's a story that asks profound questions about existence, about balance, and about the very nature of reality. And it all starts with a single legend, the story of Arceus, the Pokémon that is said to have created the entire universe. A being of unimaginable power whose existence is both awe-inspiring and terrifying. But how do you even begin to tell a story like that? How do you make the concept of a god relatable, understandable, even catchable? That's the genius of Sinnoh. It doesn't just throw these grand ideas at you, it carefully builds them layer by layer through its environments, its characters, and, of course, its Pokémon. Think about it. From the moment you step into Twinleaf Town, you're surrounded by hints of something more. The towering Mount Coronet, a constant presence on the horizon, feels ancient and mysterious. The old wives' tales that characters share speak of powerful beings watching over the land. These are not just throwaway lines of dialogue, they're seeds planted in your mind, preparing you for the revelations to come. And then there are the legendary Pokémon themselves. Dialga, the master of time. Palkia, the master of space. These aren't just powerful creatures to be battled and captured, they're embodiments of fundamental forces that shape the universe. Their mere existence challenges our understanding of what is possible. But before we dive deeper into the creation myths, let's talk about the Pokémon themselves. Because Sinnoh didn't just give us legendary titans, it also blessed us with some of the most beloved and iconic creatures in the entire franchise. Who could forget the adorable Piplup, the elegant Primplup, and the majestic Empoleon? Or the mischievous Chimchar, the fiery Monferno, and the powerful Infernape? And of course, there's Turtwig, Grottle, and the colossal Torterra, bringing the very earth to life. These starters are more than just partners. They're reflections of the diverse landscapes and the powerful forces that shape the Sinnoh region. They're also a window into the design philosophy of this generation. Sinnoh wasn't afraid to experiment, to push the boundaries of what a Pokémon could be. Take Lucario, for example. A fighting and steel type with the ability to sense auras, Lucario is not just a powerful battler, it's a symbol of justice, of loyalty, and of the deep connection between Pokémon and their trainers. Or consider Garchomp, the Mark Pokémon. A dragon and ground type with incredible speed and power, Garchomp is a force of nature, a reminder of the raw, untamed power that exists within the Pokémon world. And let's not forget the evolutions. Sinnoh introduced a wave of new evolutions for older Pokémon, breathing new life into familiar faces. Electabuzz became Electivire, Magmar became Magmortar, and Rhydon became Rhyperior. These evolutions weren't just about making Pokémon stronger, they were about expanding their stories, giving them new dimensions, and deepening their connections to the world. But perhaps the most significant evolution of all was the introduction of new ways to connect with other players. Diamond and Pearl were the first Pokémon games to fully embrace online play. Finally, you could battle and trade with trainers from all over the world, expanding the community and fostering a sense of global connection. Imagine the excitement of battling a trainer from Japan, trading a Pokémon with someone in Europe, or collaborating with players from across the globe to complete challenging quests. The online features of Diamond and Pearl opened up a whole new world of possibilities, transforming the way we experienced Pokémon. But back to the myths. The creation myths of Sinnoh are not just stories, they are the foundation upon which the entire region is built. The story goes that in the beginning there was only a swirling vortex of chaos. From this chaos emerged Arceus, the first Pokémon, the original one. Arceus, using its immense power, created Dialga and Palkia, the masters of time and space. These two Pokémon, in turn, shaped the very fabric of reality, creating the universe as we know it. But the story doesn't end there. Arceus then created Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf, the Lake Guardians, who represent knowledge, emotion, and willpower respectively. These three Pokémon are said to reside in the lakes of Sinnoh, bestowing these qualities upon all living things. These myths are more than just bedtime stories. They are deeply ingrained in the culture of Sinnoh, influencing everything from its architecture to its religious beliefs. And they're not just ancient history either. The events of Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum revolve around these myths as Team Galactic seeks to harness the power of Dialga and Palkia to create a new universe, one that they control. This is where the story takes a dark turn. Team Galactic, led by the enigmatic Cyrus, is not motivated by a desire for power or wealth. They are driven by a nihilistic worldview, a belief that the current universe is flawed and that only by destroying it can they create something better. Cyrus is a fascinating villain. He is cold, calculating, and utterly devoid of emotion. He sees the world as a chaotic mess, and he believes that only by imposing order upon it can he achieve true perfection. But his vision of perfection is a chilling one, a world devoid of emotion, of passion, of everything that makes life worth living. And it's up to you, the player, to stop him, to challenge his twisted worldview, and to remind him of the importance of emotions, of connections, and of the beauty that exists in the chaos of the world. But the confrontation with Team Galactic is not just a battle of strength, it's a battle of ideals. It's a clash between those who seek to control the universe and those who seek to protect it. And it all culminates in the Distortion World. A realm of twisted dimensions and gravity-defying landscapes, the Distortion World is home to Giratina, the renegade Pokémon. Giratina was banished to the Distortion World by Arceus for its violent behavior. In this twisted realm, Giratina exists in its origin form, a terrifying manifestation of its immense power. The Distortion World is unlike anything you've ever seen in a Pokémon game. It's a surreal, Escher-esque landscape where the laws of physics seem to bend and break. Walking on walls, floating through the air, and battling in upside-down arenas are just some of the challenges you'll face in this bizarre dimension. And it's here, in the heart of the Distortion World, that you must confront Cyrus and stop him from unleashing the power of Dialga and Palkia. The battle with Cyrus in the Distortion World is one of the most epic and challenging encounters in the entire Pokémon franchise. It's a test of your skills, your strategy, and your determination. And when you finally defeat him, you don't just save the Sinnoh region, you save the entire universe. But even after defeating Team Galactic, the mysteries of Sinnoh are far from over. The post-game content of Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum is incredibly rich and rewarding, offering hours of additional gameplay and exploration. You can explore new areas, battle powerful trainers, and uncover even more secrets about the legendary Pokémon. One of the most exciting post-game activities is the hunt for the legendary Pokémon Hytran, Regigigas, and Cresselia. These Pokémon are hidden in remote locations throughout the Sinnoh region, and finding them requires patience, skill, and a keen eye for detail. But perhaps the most rewarding post-game activity is the opportunity to catch Arceus itself. To catch Arceus, you need to obtain the Azure Flute, an item that was originally distributed through a special event. Once you have the Azure Flute, you can climb to the top of Mount Coronet and play the flute to summon a stairway to the Hall of Origin, where Arceus awaits. The battle with Arceus is the ultimate test of your Pokémon skills. It's a challenging and rewarding encounter that will leave you feeling like you've truly conquered the Sinnoh region. But beyond the battles and the exploration, the true magic of Sinnoh lies in its ability to connect with us on a deeper level. The themes of creation, of balance, and of the importance of emotions resonate with us on a fundamental level. Sinnoh reminds us that we are all connected, that we are all part of something larger than ourselves, and it inspires us to look beyond the surface, to question the world around us, and to strive for a better future. The Sinnoh region is more than just a game. It's an experience. It's a journey of discovery, of adventure, and of self-reflection. It's a testament to the power of storytelling, to the magic of Pokémon, and to the enduring appeal of the human spirit. And it's a generation that continues to captivate players to this day, beckoning them back to its snowy peaks and mysterious lakes. But what if I told you that Sinnoh wasn't just a self-contained story? What if I told you that its themes and ideas were actually a response to something that had come before, and that its innovations paved the way for something even more radical? Because next, we venture to Unova, a region that dares to ask, what if Pokémon were the bad guys? Before we dive deeper into this incredible journey, I'm curious, where in the world are you watching this from? Drop a comment below and let our global community know. And if you're finding this as mind-blowing as I am, hit that like button to help more people discover this story. Chapter 5, Unova, a fresh start Unova. A region unlike any we'd seen before. It was a bold step, a daring reinvention that challenged everything we thought we knew about the Pokémon world. After 4 generations steeped in tradition, Game Freak decided to wipe the slate clean to present us with something entirely new. Imagine, if you will, a Pokémon game where you encounter new Pokémon for the first time. No Pidgeys, no Rattatas, no familiar faces to ease you into the experience. That was the reality of Pokémon Black and White. 156 brand new creatures, each with its own unique design, typing, and backstory. It was a staggering undertaking, and it immediately set Unova apart. But why? Why this radical departure from the established formula? The answer, it seems, lies in a desire to recapture the magic of the original games, to allow veteran players to experience the thrill of discovery all over again, to feel the same sense of wonder that they felt when they first stepped into Kanto. And it worked. The initial reactions were a mix of excitement and apprehension. Could these new Pokémon possibly live up to the legacy of the originals? Were they as charming, as memorable as Pikachu? The answer, of course, is subjective, but there's no denying the creativity and originality on display in Unova's roster. From the elegant Sapphire to the powerful Haxorus, from the mischievous Zorua to the legendary Reshiram and Zekrom, Unova's Pokémon felt fresh, vibrant, and full of potential. They drew inspiration from a wider range of sources than ever before, incorporating elements of mythology, folklore, and even modern technology. Think about it. You're wandering through the tall grass, and instead of encountering a familiar face, you're confronted by a creature you've never seen before. Its cries are unfamiliar, its movements unpredictable. You have to learn its strengths and weaknesses, its typing and its abilities, all from scratch. It's a daunting task, but it's also incredibly rewarding. This complete overhaul of the Pokémon roster wasn't the only thing that made Unova special. The region itself was a departure from the familiar landscapes of previous games. Inspired by the bustling metropolis of New York City, Unova was a sprawling urban center, a melting pot of cultures and ideas. Castelia City, with its towering skyscrapers and bustling streets, felt more alive than any city we'd seen in a Pokémon game before. Nimbasa City, with its amusement park and musical theater, was a vibrant hub of entertainment. And Opelucid City, divided into 2 distinct halves, one technologically advanced and the other steeped in tradition, showcased the region's internal conflicts. But Unova wasn't just about cities. It also featured vast plains, dense forests, and treacherous mountains, each teeming with unique Pokémon and hidden secrets. The region felt diverse, expansive, and full of opportunities for exploration. The storytelling in Black and White also took a significant step forward. While previous games had dabbled in more complex narratives, Unova presented a story that was genuinely thought-provoking and morally ambiguous. The central conflict revolved around Team Plasma, a group of trainers who believed that Pokémon should be liberated from human ownership. Led by the enigmatic N, a young man who claimed to be able to understand the language of Pokémon, Team Plasma challenged the very foundations of the Pokémon world. N was a fascinating character, a complex and conflicted individual who genuinely cared about Pokémon welfare. He believed that humans were exploiting Pokémon for their own gain, and that the only way to achieve true harmony was to separate the 2 species. His arguments were compelling, and they forced the player to question their own relationship with their Pokémon. Were we truly partners, or were we simply using them as tools? Was it right to force them to battle? To evolve? To conform to our expectations? These were difficult questions, and the game didn't offer easy answers. It presented both sides of the argument, allowing the player to form their own conclusions. It was a refreshing change of pace from the more black and white narratives of previous games. The themes of truth and ideals were central to the story of Black and White. Reshiram, the legendary Pokémon of truth, represented the pursuit of knowledge and understanding. Zekrom, the legendary Pokémon of ideals, embodied the unwavering belief in one's own convictions. The player, as the hero of the story, was forced to choose between these two paths. Did they believe in N's ideals, or did they believe in the established order? The choice was not easy, and it had profound consequences for the future of Unova. The game also explored the concept of duality in other ways. The two versions, Black and White, featured subtle differences in their storylines and Pokémon availability, encouraging players to collaborate and share their experiences. Opaloosid City, with its contrasting technological and traditional halves, symbolized the region's internal struggles. And even the legendary Pokémon themselves, Reshiram and Zekrom, represented opposing forces that were ultimately interconnected. One of the most innovative features of Black and White was the introduction of seasonal changes. As the months passed in real life, the environment in the game would transform, affecting the availability of certain Pokémon and opening up new areas to explore. Imagine, if you will, wandering through a lush forest in the summer, only to return in the winter and find it covered in snow. The Pokémon that once thrived there would be replaced by others adapted to the colder climate. It was a dynamic and immersive experience that made the world of Unova feel truly alive. These seasonal changes also had an impact on gameplay. Certain areas that were inaccessible during the summer might become traversable in the winter, allowing players to discover new secrets and encounter rare Pokémon. It added another layer of depth to the exploration and encouraged players to revisit familiar locations at different times of the year. But the seasonal changes weren't just a cosmetic feature. They also played a role in the game's story. Certain events and encounters were tied to specific seasons, adding a sense of urgency and anticipation to the narrative. For example, the legendary Pokémon Deerling and Sawsbuck would change their appearance depending on the season, reflecting the changing environment. This subtle detail added a touch of realism and immersion to the game world. The Unova region also introduced several new gameplay mechanics that further enhanced the experience. Triple battles and rotation battles added a new layer of strategic depth to the combat system, forcing players to think carefully about their team composition and positioning. Imagine, if you will, controlling 3 Pokémon at once, each with its own strengths and weaknesses. You have to coordinate their attacks, protect them from harm, and anticipate your opponent's moves. It's a chaotic and challenging experience, but it's also incredibly rewarding. Triple battles allowed players to unleash devastating combinations and overwhelm their opponents with sheer firepower. Rotation battles, on the other hand, emphasized strategy and positioning, allowing players to switch their Pokémon in and out of battle to gain a tactical advantage. These new battle mechanics weren't just for show. They also played a role in the game's story. Certain trainers and gym leaders would specialize in triple battles or rotation battles, forcing the player to adapt their strategies and master these new forms of combat. The Dream World was another innovative feature introduced in Black and White. It allowed players to transfer their Pokémon from the game to a virtual world, where they could interact with other players, collect items, and even encounter rare Pokémon with hidden abilities. Imagine, if you will, sending your Pokémon on an adventure to a faraway land, where they can make new friends and learn new skills. It's a fun and engaging way to connect with other players and expand your Pokémon collection. The Dream World was also a great way to obtain Pokémon with hidden abilities, which were not normally available in the game. These abilities could give your Pokémon a significant advantage in battle, making them even more powerful and versatile. But perhaps the most enduring legacy of Black and White is their focus on storytelling. The game's narrative was complex, thought-provoking, and morally ambiguous, challenging players to question their own beliefs and values. The relationship between the player and N was particularly compelling. N was not simply a villain to be defeated, but a complex and sympathetic character with his own motivations and goals. He genuinely cared about Pokémon welfare, and his arguments were often difficult to refute. The game's ending was particularly memorable. After defeating N and Team Plasma, the player was left to ponder the implications of their actions. Had they truly done the right thing? Or had they simply perpetuated the cycle of exploitation and oppression? These were difficult questions, and the game didn't offer easy answers. It left the player to grapple with the moral complexities of the Pokémon world, encouraging them to think critically about their own role in it. Black and White were a bold and ambitious attempt to reinvent the Pokémon franchise. They introduced a completely new roster of Pokémon, a sprawling urban region, and a thought-provoking storyline that challenged players to question their own beliefs. The game's innovative features, such as seasonal changes, triple battles, and the Dream World, added a new layer of depth and complexity to the gameplay experience, and its focus on storytelling made it one of the most memorable and impactful Pokémon games of all time. Unova was a gamble, no doubt about it, but it was a gamble that paid off, proving that the Pokémon franchise was capable of evolving and adapting to meet the changing tastes of its audience. It showed that the world of Pokémon could be more than just collecting creatures and battling gym leaders. It could be a place of moral complexities, thought-provoking narratives, and genuine emotional connection. But the story of Pokémon's evolution doesn't end there. What happens when you take the core battling and exploration and inject it with a healthy dose of Parisian charm and Mega Evolution? Get ready, because next we're off to Kalos. Chapter 6: Kalos, Beauty and Mega Evolution. The sun was setting on Unova, and a new dawn was breaking, not just for the Pokémon world, but for the very way we experienced it. Generation 6: Kalos. A region inspired by the romance and artistry of France, a place where beauty wasn't just admired, it was a weapon. Prepare yourselves. This isn't just a graphical upgrade, it's a paradigm shift. Remember the leap from 2D sprites to the blocky but charming 3D models of the Nintendo DS? Kalos blew that away. Imagine walking into Lumiose City, a sprawling metropolis with the Eiffel Tower reimagined as the Prism Tower, piercing the sky. The camera glides, showcasing cobblestone streets, elegant boutiques, and trainers with a flair for fashion unlike anything we'd seen before. It wasn't just about looking good though, it was about immersed. The Pokémon themselves moved with a fluidity that brought them to life in a way that felt utterly new. Battles were dynamic, with sweeping camera angles and particle effects that made every attack feel impactful. But the real game changer, the innovation that sent shockwaves through the Pokémon community, was something entirely new: Mega Evolution. For years, we'd accepted evolution as the final stage of a Pokémon's journey. A Caterpie became a Metapod, then a Butterfree. A Charmander became a Charmeleon, then a Charizard. End of story, right? Not anymore. Mega Evolution shattered that ceiling. It introduced a temporary, battle-only transformation that pushed certain Pokémon to their absolute limits. But this wasn't just a stat boost, it was a visual spectacle. Picture this: your trusty Charizard, already a formidable fire type, enveloped in a swirling vortex of energy. Its form shifts, its scales darken, and it emerges as Mega Charizard X, a fire dragon-type behemoth with blue flames erupting from its mouth. Or perhaps you prefer Mega Charizard Y, a more streamlined form with increased special attack. The choice is yours. But Mega Evolution wasn't just about making Pokémon stronger. It was about forging a deeper bond with them. It required a keystone held by the trainer and a Megastone held by the Pokémon. These stones resonated with a shared desire for power, unlocking the latent potential within. Think of it as a hidden reserve, a power-up button you never knew you had. But with a catch. Mega Evolution was only temporary, lasting for the duration of the battle. It was a high-risk, high-reward strategy that demanded careful planning and a deep understanding of your Pokémon's strengths and weaknesses. And the roster of Mega Evolutions? It was a who's who of fan favorites. Blastoise, Venusaur, Mewtwo, Garchomp, Lucario. The list went on and on. Each Mega Evolution brought with it a unique design, a new type combination, and a fresh set of strategic possibilities. But where did this power come from? The game hinted at a connection to the ultimate weapon used in the Kalos War, a conflict that shaped the region's history and left a lingering scar on the land. This weapon, fueled by the life force of Pokémon, was said to have unleashed a cataclysmic energy that warped the very fabric of evolution. Mega Evolution, then, was not just a cool new mechanic, It was a piece of the region's lore, a reminder of the destructive potential that lay dormant beneath the surface. It was a testament to the enduring power of Pokémon, both for good and for ill. And speaking of lore, Kalos delved deeper into the mysteries of Pokémon than ever before. The legendary Pokémon Xerneas and Yveltal, representing life and destruction respectively, were central to the game's narrative. Their designs were breathtaking, embodying the themes of the game with an elegance and grandeur that was truly unforgettable. Xerneas, with its majestic antlers and benevolent aura, radiated a sense of peace and tranquility. Yveltal, on the other hand, was a creature of darkness and despair, its wings spread wide, ready to unleash its devastating Oblivion Wing attack. The clash between these two titans was more than just a battle. It was a philosophical debate, a struggle between opposing forces that shaped the destiny of the Kalos region. And you, the player, were caught in the middle, forced to choose a side and determine the fate of the world. But Kalos wasn't just about epic battles and legendary Pokémon. It was also about the smaller moments, the connections you forged with your team, and the friendships you made along the way. The characters in X and Y were more complex and nuanced than ever before. Your rivals were no longer just obstacles to overcome, they were companions on a journey of self-discovery. They had their own motivations, their own dreams, and their own struggles. And then there was Team Flare, the villainous organization of the game. Unlike previous villain teams who sought to control the world or exploit Pokémon for their own gain, Team Flare had a more radical agenda. They believed that the world was inherently flawed and that the only way to create a better future was to destroy it and start anew. Their leader, Lysandra, was a visionary, a charismatic leader who genuinely believed that he was acting in the best interests of humanity. But his methods were extreme, his ideology dangerous. He represented a darker side of human ambition, a willingness to sacrifice everything for the sake of a utopian ideal. Team Flare's presence added a layer of moral complexity to the game, forcing you to confront difficult questions about the nature of good and evil, the limits of progress, and the responsibility we have to protect the world around us. And let's not forget the introduction of the Fairy type. For years, Dragon-type Pokémon had reigned supreme, their only weaknesses being Ice and Dragon-type attacks. They were the kings of the battlefield, the apex predators of the Pokémon world. But the Fairy type changed everything. It was super effective against Dragon, resistant to fighting, and immune to Dragon-type attacks. It was a natural counter to the Dragon-type dominance, a balancing force that reshaped the competitive landscape. Pokémon like Sylveon, Gardevoir, and Azumarill rose to prominence, becoming staples of competitive teams. The Fairy type added a new layer of strategy to battles, forcing players to adapt their teams and rethink their approach to the game. But the Fairy type wasn't just a competitive advantage, it was also a reflection of the game's themes of beauty and elegance. Fairy-type Pokémon were often graceful, whimsical creatures with a connection to nature and a touch of magic. They embodied the spirit of the Kalos region, its appreciation for artistry and its celebration of the natural world. And speaking of beauty, let's talk about Pokémon Amy. This feature allowed you to interact with your Pokémon in a more personal way than ever before. You could pet them, feed them, and play mini-games with them. The more you interacted with your Pokémon, the closer you became, strengthening your bond and unlocking new abilities in battle. Pokémon Ami was more than just a cute gimmick. It was a way to deepen your connection with your team, to appreciate their unique personalities, and to foster a sense of camaraderie. It reminded us that Pokémon were more than just tools to be used in battle. They were companions, friends, and members of our family. And then there was Super Training, a new method of EV training that made it easier than ever to optimize your Pokémon's stats. No more grinding through endless battles against hordes of weak Pokémon. Super Training allowed you to target specific stats, making the process faster, more efficient, and less tedious. It was a welcome addition for competitive players, allowing them to fine-tune their teams with greater precision. But it also made EV training more accessible to casual players, allowing them to improve their Pokémon's performance without having to invest hours of their time. Kalos was a region of innovation, a place where old traditions were reimagined and new ideas were embraced. It was a testament to the enduring power of the Pokémon franchise, its ability to evolve and adapt to the changing tastes of its audience. From the stunning graphics to the groundbreaking Mega Evolution mechanic, Kalos raised the bar for Pokémon games. It was a visual feast, a strategic challenge, and an emotional journey. It was a region that stayed with you long after you put down your Nintendo 3DS. The Parisian influence permeated every aspect of the game, from the architecture of Lumiose City to the fashion of the trainers. The music was elegant and sophisticated, reflecting the region's rich cultural heritage. The story was compelling, with complex characters and thought-provoking themes. Kalos was a region that celebrated beauty in all its forms, from the graceful movements of a Sylveon to the majestic power of a Mega Charizard. It was a region that reminded us of the importance of friendship, the value of tradition, and the power of imagination. But the legacy of Kalos extends beyond its aesthetic appeal and innovative gameplay mechanics. It also lies in its exploration of deeper themes, its willingness to tackle complex issues, and its commitment to creating a more immersive and engaging experience for the player. The Kalos War, the ultimate weapon, Team Flare's radical agenda. These were not just plot devices. They were reflections of real-world concerns about violence, extremism, and the future of humanity. Kalos challenged us to think critically about the choices we make, the impact we have on the world, and the responsibility we have to protect the things we hold dear. And the introduction of Mega Evolution, while initially met with some skepticism, ultimately proved to be a stroke of genius. It revitalized the competitive scene, added a new layer of depth to battles, and allowed us to reconnect with our favorite Pokémon in a whole new way. Mega Evolution was more than just a power-up. It was a symbol of the enduring bond between trainer and Pokémon, a testament to the power of friendship and a reminder that even the most familiar things can still surprise us. Kalos was a turning point for the Pokémon franchise, a moment of reinvention that paved the way for future innovations. It was a region that will forever be remembered for its beauty, its elegance, and its groundbreaking gameplay mechanics. But what if I told you that the secrets of Kalos ran deeper than we ever imagined? What if the Mega Evolution phenomenon was tied to something even more ancient and powerful, something that stretched back to the very origins of the Pokémon world? Because next we journey to the Sinnoh region, a land steeped in myth and legend, where the very fabric of reality is about to be challenged. Chapter 7: Alola Island. Adventures after 6 generations, countless battles, and a whole lot of leveling up. The Pokémon world was ready for a vacation. And what better place to unwind than the sun-kissed shores of Alola? Sun and Moon arrived, bringing with them a vibrant tropical paradise unlike anything we'd seen before. Forget the rigid gym challenges of old. Alola offered something entirely new, the Island Challenge. Imagine trading in your badges for stamps on a passport. Instead of facing off against stoic gym leaders, you're embarking on a pilgrimage across 4 distinct islands, each brimming with unique trials and powerful totem Pokémon. It's a complete reinvention of the Pokémon journey, a breath of fresh, salty air. But why this radical shift? What drove Game Freak to abandon the tried-and-true formula? Perhaps it was a desire to capture the spirit of exploration, the feeling of truly discovering something new. Alola felt less like a region and more like a living, breathing ecosystem. The vibrant flora, the crystal-clear waters, the ever-present sun, it all combined to create an unforgettable experience. And then there were the Alolan forms. Remember your old friend Rattata? Well, in Alola, he's sporting a stylish moustache and a dark-type edge. Or how about Exeggutor, now a towering palm tree with a dragon-type twist? These weren't just palette swaps. They were clever, creative reimaginings of classic Pokémon, each adapted to the unique environment of Alola. But what does this tell us about the adaptability of Pokémon and their connection to their environments? The Alolan forms weren't just a visual treat, they were a brilliant way to breathe new life into familiar faces, adding a layer of surprise and discovery to the gameplay. You thought you knew these Pokémon? Think again. Alola was about to change everything you thought you knew. But the biggest shake-up of all was the introduction of Z moves. Forget Mega Evolution, this was something else entirely. These were powerful, once-per-battle attacks that harnessed the combined energy of trainer and Pokémon. Imagine Pikachu unleashing a devastating thunderbolt powered by your own sheer will. It was a spectacle to behold. Z-moves added a new layer of strategy to battles, forcing you to think carefully about when to unleash your ultimate attack. They were flashy, over the top, and utterly unforgettable. But beyond the spectacle, what did Z-moves represent? Was it a deeper connection between trainer and Pokémon, a true merging of their spirits? Alola wasn't just about battling and catching Pokémon. It was about forging bonds, experiencing a different culture, and embracing the spirit of adventure. The characters felt more fleshed out, the story more engaging, and the world more alive than ever before. The island kahunas, the guardians of each island, were more than just powerful trainers. They were respected leaders, deeply connected to their communities and the land itself. They represented the heart and soul of Alola, embodying the spirit of Ohana, the Hawaiian concept of family and togetherness. The threat of the Ultra Beasts added a layer of intrigue and danger to the Alolan paradise. These mysterious creatures from another dimension posed a serious threat to the region, forcing you to team up with the enigmatic Ether Foundation to protect Alola from destruction. But what were these Ultra Beasts really? Where did they come from, and what were their motives? The story of Lily and her Cosmog, Nebby, was a surprisingly emotional journey. Watching Lily grow from a shy, insecure girl into a confident and capable trainer was a highlight of the game. Her relationship with Nebby and her eventual transformation into the powerful Lusamine added a layer of depth and complexity to the narrative. Sun and Moon dared to be different, to break away from the traditional Pokémon formula and forge its own path. It was a bold move that paid off, creating a truly unique and unforgettable experience. But what was it about Alola that resonated so deeply with players? Was it the tropical setting, the innovative gameplay, or the heartfelt story? The themes of family and tradition were woven throughout the entire game. From the close-knit communities of each island to the importance of respecting the land and its guardians, Alola emphasized the importance of connection and belonging. It was a refreshing change of pace from the more individualistic journeys of previous games. The tropical setting was more than just a backdrop. It influenced everything from the Pokémon designs to the music to the overall atmosphere of the game. The vibrant colors, the lush vegetation, and the constant presence of the ocean created a sense of tranquility and wonder. The music of Alola was another standout feature. From the upbeat tunes of the Hau'oli City to the haunting melodies of the Ultra Beast encounters, the soundtrack perfectly captured the spirit of the region. It was a blend of traditional Hawaiian music and modern electronic sounds, creating a unique and memorable soundscape. But perhaps the most enduring legacy of Alola is its emphasis on community. The Island Challenge encouraged players to explore the region, interact with its inhabitants, and forge meaningful connections. It was a journey of self-discovery, a celebration of diversity, and a testament to the power of Ohana. The Alolan forms, the Z-moves, the Island Challenge. These were all bold experiments that redefined what a Pokémon game could be. But beyond the new features and mechanics, Alola offered something more profound, a sense of belonging, a celebration of culture, and a reminder that even in the face of danger, family and friendship can conquer all. Alola stands as a testament to the power of reinvention, proving that even a well-established formula can be successfully reimagined. It was a risk that paid off handsomely, leaving an indelible mark on the Pokémon world. But the journey doesn't end here. The next generation would take us to a region inspired by the United Kingdom, a land of sprawling landscapes and colossal Pokémon. What secrets did Galar hold? The sun-drenched shores of Alola may have felt like a vacation, but the Pokémon world never truly rests. From the tropical paradise, we were about to be whisked away to the rolling hills and industrial landscapes of Galar, a region heavily inspired by Great Britain. Sword and Shield, the 8th generation of Pokémon games, brought with them a whole new set of challenges and innovations. The traditional gym challenge was back, but it was bigger and bolder than ever before, transformed into a spectacle worthy of a stadium crowd. Imagine stepping into a packed arena, the roar of the crowd echoing in your ears as you prepare to face off against a powerful gym leader. The Galar region embraced the spirit of competition, turning Pokémon battles into a national pastime. But what drove this obsession with competitive battling? Was it simply a reflection of British sporting culture, or was there a deeper reason behind it? The biggest innovation in Sword and Shield was undoubtedly the Dynamax phenomenon. This allowed Pokémon to grow to enormous sizes during battles, unleashing devastating attacks and transforming the battlefield into a colossal clash of titans. Dynamaxing wasn't just a visual spectacle, it added a new layer of strategy to battles, forcing you to think carefully about when to unleash your Dynamax Pokémon. It was a high-risk, high-reward mechanic that could turn the tide of battle in an instant. But where did this Dynamax energy come from? Was it a natural phenomenon, or was there something more sinister at play? The introduction of the wild area was another game changer. This expansive open-world area allowed you to freely explore a variety of landscapes, encounter wild Pokémon, and participate in max raid battles with other players. The wild area was a breath of fresh air for the Pokémon series. It offered a sense of freedom and exploration that was previously unheard of, allowing you to forge your own path and discover new Pokémon at your own pace. But was this a sign of things to come for the Pokémon series? Was Game Freak finally embracing the open-world concept? Max Raid battles were a cooperative experience that allowed you to team up with other players to take on Dynamax Pokémon. These battles were challenging and rewarding, offering the chance to catch rare and powerful Pokémon. Max Raid battles fostered a sense of community and cooperation, allowing players to connect and battle together. It was a great way to meet new people and experience the thrill of victory as a team. But did these cooperative features signal a shift in the overall direction of the Pokémon series? Were we moving towards a more social and collaborative experience? The Galar region was heavily inspired by Great Britain, with its rolling hills, industrial cities, and iconic landmarks. From the towering Spikemuth to the charming Hammerlock, Galar felt like a living, breathing world. The British influence extended beyond the landscapes to the characters and culture of the region. The accents, the fashion, the sports, it all contributed to a unique and memorable experience. But was this cultural inspiration a strength or a weakness? Did it feel authentic, or did it come across as a caricature? The themes of ambition and legacy were central to the story of Sword and Shield. From the ambitious Chairman Rose to the legendary heroes of Galar, the game explored the pursuit of greatness and the lasting impact of our actions. The story of Sword and Shield was more complex and nuanced than previous Pokémon games. It tackled themes of environmentalism, corporate greed, and the responsibility of leadership. But did it succeed in delivering a meaningful message, or did it fall short of its ambitions? The legendary Pokémon of Galar, Zacian and Zamazenta were powerful warriors who protected the region from a mysterious threat in the past. Their story was intertwined with the history of Galar, adding a layer of depth and intrigue to the game. Zacian and Zamazenta were more than just powerful Pokémon. They were symbols of hope and resilience, representing the strength and spirit of the Galar region. But what was the true nature of their power? And what was the threat that they fought against? The rivals in Sword and Shield were a diverse and memorable bunch, each with their own motivations and goals. From the friendly Hop to the enigmatic Marnie, they added depth and complexity to the story. The rivals in Sword and Shield were more than just obstacles to overcome. They were characters with their own flaws and strengths, their own dreams and aspirations. They challenged you to grow and improve, pushing you to become the best trainer you could be. But did these rivals truly stand out from the crowd, or were they simply forgettable faces? Sword and Shield were not without their controversies. The decision to cut Pokémon from the game, known as Dexit, sparked outrage among fans. The game also faced criticism for its graphics and performance. Despite the controversies, Sword and Shield were a commercial success, selling millions of copies worldwide. They introduced new features and mechanics that redefined the Pokémon experience, paving the way for the future of the series. But did the game live up to the hype? And did it justify the sacrifices that were made? Galar was a region of contrasts, a land of tradition and innovation, of ambition and legacy. It was a world where Pokémon battles were a national sport, where Dynamax Pokémon roamed the wild area, and where the fate of the region rested on the shoulders of a young trainer. But the journey was far from over. The next adventure would take us back in time, to a land before Pokémon training was even a concept. Imagine stepping back in time, to a world where humans and Pokémon lived in fear and mistrust of one another. This was the setting of Pokémon Legends, Arceus, a prequel that took us to the Hisui region, the ancient version of what would eventually become Sinnoh. Pokémon Legends, Arceus was a radical departure from the traditional Pokémon formula. It was an open-world action RPG that emphasized exploration, crafting, and survival. It was a bold experiment that redefined what a Pokémon game could be. Forget the linear routes and predictable encounters of previous games. In Hisui, you were free to roam the vast wilderness, discovering new Pokémon and completing research tasks at your own pace. The sense of freedom and discovery was unlike anything we'd seen before. But what inspired this dramatic shift in gameplay? Was it a response to fan demand, or was it a deliberate attempt to reinvent the series? The focus of Pokémon Legends, Arceus, was on completing the Pokédex, not just catching Pokémon. You had to observe their behavior, study their habitats, and use different techniques to capture them. It was a more scientific and immersive approach to Pokémon research. Completing the Pokédex in Hisui was a challenging and rewarding experience. It required patience, skill, and a deep understanding of Pokémon behavior. But what did this new focus on research tell us about the future of the series? Were we moving towards a more educational and scientific approach to Pokémon? The crafting system in Pokémon Legends, Arceus, allowed you to create items and tools that were essential for survival and exploration. You could gather resources, build shelters, and craft Pokéballs. It was a surprisingly engaging and addictive mechanic. The crafting system added a new layer of depth and complexity to the gameplay. It forced you to think strategically about resource management and to adapt to the challenges of the Hisui wilderness. But did this crafting system feel out of place in a Pokémon game? Or did it enhance the overall experience? The story of Pokémon Legends, Arceus, was a mystery that unfolded as you explored the Hisui region and completed research tasks. You had to uncover the secrets of the space-time rift that was threatening the region and to find a way to restore balance to the world. The story of Pokémon Legends, Arceus, was more mature and nuanced than previous Pokémon games. It tackled themes of environmentalism, cultural conflict, and the responsibility of humanity towards the natural world. But did it succeed in delivering a meaningful message, or did it get lost in the open-world gameplay? The noble Pokémon were powerful and enraged creatures that you had to calm down using a combination of skill and strategy. These battles were challenging and rewarding, offering a unique twist on the traditional Pokémon battle formula. The noble Pokémon battles were a highlight of Pokémon Legends Arceus. They required you to think outside the box and to use all of your skills and knowledge to succeed. But did these battles feel too different from traditional Pokémon battles? And did they appeal to longtime fans of the series? The historical setting of Pokémon Legends, Arceus, was a refreshing change of pace. It allowed us to see the Pokémon world in a new light, to understand the origins of Pokémon training, and to appreciate the relationship between humans and Pokémon. The Hisui region felt like a truly wild and untamed place. The landscapes were vast and beautiful, the Pokémon were unpredictable, and the dangers were real. It was a world that felt both familiar and alien, inviting us to explore its secrets and discover its wonders. But what did this historical setting tell us about the future of the series? Were we likely to see more Pokémon games set in the past? The themes of discovery and adaptation were central to Pokémon Legends Arceus. You were tasked with exploring a new world, learning about its creatures, and adapting to its challenges. It was a journey of self-discovery, a celebration of exploration, and a testament to the power of human ingenuity. Pokémon Legends Arceus was a bold experiment that paid off handsomely. It redefined what a Pokémon game could be, paving the way for the future of the series. It was a commercial success, selling millions of copies worldwide, and it was praised by critics for its innovative gameplay and its engaging story. But did it truly capture the spirit of the Pokémon series? And did it appeal to both longtime fans and newcomers alike? Hisui was a land of mystery and wonder, a place where the past and the present collided. It was a world where humans and Pokémon were still learning to coexist, where the dangers were real and where the rewards were great. But the journey through time was coming to an end. The next adventure would take us to a brand new region, a land of sunshine and adventure where the possibilities were endless. From the ancient past of Hisui, we fast forward to the vibrant present of Paldea, the setting for Pokémon Scarlet and Violet, the 9th generation of Pokémon games. Prepare to be transported to a sprawling, sun-drenched region inspired by the Iberian Peninsula, a land teeming with history, culture, and of course, countless Pokémon. Scarlet and Violet made a bold leap into the fully open-world format. The rigid structure of past games was gone, replaced by a seamless world ripe for exploration. Imagine setting off in any direction, scaling mountains, traversing deserts, and discovering hidden grottos, all without a single loading screen to interrupt your adventure. But how does this freedom truly impact the core Pokémon experience? Does it enhance the sense of discovery, or does it dilute the focused narrative of previous games? The freedom of Paldea extended beyond mere exploration. For the first time, the traditional gym challenge was just one of 3 distinct storylines you could pursue. You could become a champion, delve into the mysteries of Area Zero, or even hunt down Herba Mystica with the quirky student Arven. This choice-driven narrative was a significant departure for the series. What drove this decision to offer multiple paths? Was it an attempt to cater to different player preferences, or a genuine desire to create a more personalized experience? The terrestrial phenomenon was Paldea's unique battle gimmick, allowing Pokémon to transform into glittering, jewel-like versions of themselves, often changing their type in the process. This added a new layer of strategic depth to battles, forcing you to anticipate your opponent's moves and adapt your own strategy accordingly. But did the terrestrial mechanic feel like a natural evolution of the battle system, or was it simply a flashy gimmick designed to sell toys? The introduction of cooperative multiplayer was another major innovation. You could team up with friends to explore Paldea together, battle wild Pokémon, and complete Terra Raid battles. This fostered a sense of community and collaboration that was previously missing from the series. But did the multiplayer features truly enhance the experience, or did they feel like an afterthought? The legendary Pokémon of Paldea, Koraidon and Miraidon were more than just powerful creatures. They were also your ride, transforming into motorcycles that allowed you to traverse the vast landscapes of the region. This was a clever way to integrate the legendary Pokémon into the gameplay, making them feel like an integral part of your adventure. But did these rideable legendaries diminish their mystique, or did they make them feel more accessible and relatable? The themes of friendship and exploration were central to the story of Scarlet and Violet. You formed close bonds with your classmates at Naranja or Uva Academy, embarking on adventures together and supporting each other along the way. The game emphasized the importance of teamwork, communication, and mutual respect. But did these themes resonate with players, or did they feel forced and contrived? The futuristic setting of Scarlet and Violet was a departure from the more traditional fantasy settings of previous games. The advanced technology, the sleek architecture, and the futuristic clothing all contributed to a unique, I hope you're as amazed by this as I am. If you want to stay updated on more content like this, make sure to subscribe and join our community of curious minds. Trust me, what's coming next will challenge everything you thought you knew. Chapter 8. Galar, Dynamax and the Wild Area. The rolling hills, the quaint villages, the echoes of industry, Galar. This is a region steeped in tradition, yet buzzing with a modern energy unlike anything we'd seen before in the Pokémon world. But Galar isn't just pretty scenery, it's a place where the very scale of Pokémon battles is redefined, where cooperative play reaches new heights, and where ambition and legacy intertwine in surprising ways. Forget what you think you know about gym challenges. Galar takes the familiar formula and injects it with a dose of pure spectacle. Picture this. You step into a massive stadium, roaring with the cheers of thousands of fans. The lights blaze, the music swells, and your opponent, a gym leader of legendary status, stands ready. But something is different. Something is bigger. This is Dynamax. The Dynamax phenomenon, unique to specific power spots within Galar, allows Pokémon to grow to gargantuan sizes during battle. We're talking colossal, skyscraper-sized creatures unleashing attacks of earth-shattering force. It's not just a visual spectacle, it completely changes the dynamics of combat. Suddenly, strategy takes on a whole new dimension. You have to consider not just type matchups and move sets, but also the sheer power and range of these Dynamax behemoths. Only certain trainers, equipped with a Dynamax band, can trigger this transformation, and it lasts for only 3 turns. This limitation adds a layer of tactical depth. Do you Dynamax early to gain an immediate advantage? Or do you save it for a crucial moment, a last-ditch effort to turn the tide of battle? The choice is yours, and the consequences can be devastating. But Dynamax isn't just a gimmick for gym battles. It's woven into the very fabric of Galar's culture. Think of it as their equivalent of professional sports, a source of regional pride and national entertainment. The gym leaders aren't just trainers, they're celebrities, icons whose battles are broadcast across the region. It's a world where Pokémon battling is a legitimate career path, a way to achieve fame and fortune. And you, the player, are right in the thick of it, striving to become the champion, the ultimate symbol of Galarian ambition. But Galar isn't just about individual glory, it's also about teamwork. And that brings us to the wild area. Imagine a vast, sprawling landscape stretching as far as the eye can see. Wild Pokémon roam freely, unconstrained by routes or towns. The weather shifts dynamically, influencing which Pokémon appear. This is the wild area, a revolutionary addition to the Pokémon formula. It's more than just a place to catch Pokémon, it's a living, breathing ecosystem. You can set up camp, cook curry with your Pokémon, and even encounter other players exploring the same area. It's a shared experience, a sense of community that elevates the gameplay beyond the traditional solo adventure. But the wild area also holds a secret, a challenge that demands cooperation, max raid battles. Scattered throughout the wild area are Pokémon dens, mysterious structures that pulse with energy. Interact with one, and you might trigger a max raid battle, a cooperative encounter against a Dynamaxed Pokémon. These aren't your average wild Pokémon. They're powerful, formidable opponents that require teamwork and coordination to defeat. You can team up with up to 3 other players, either online or locally, to take on these challenging raids. Each player brings one Pokémon to the battle, and together you must strategize and coordinate your attacks to overcome the Dynamaxed foe. These max raid battles aren't just about bragging rights. They offer valuable rewards, including rare items, powerful TMs, and even the chance to catch the Dynamaxed Pokémon itself. It's a rewarding cycle of cooperation and competition, driving players to work together to conquer the toughest challenges Galar has to offer. And the Pokémon you encounter in max raid battles aren't just limited to the Galar region. You might find Pokémon from previous generations, adding a layer of nostalgia and collectability to the experience. It's a celebration of the entire Pokémon franchise brought together in one dynamic and engaging game mode. Think about it. You and 3 friends facing down a colossal Charizard, its flames scorching the earth. You coordinate your attacks, support each other with healing moves, and celebrate together as you finally bring the beast down. It's a feeling of camaraderie and accomplishment that's hard to replicate in any other game. But the wild area isn't just about battling, it's also about exploration and discovery. Hidden within its vast expanse are secret locations, rare items, and even unique Pokémon that can't be found anywhere else. The changing weather adds another layer of complexity, influencing which Pokémon appear and what items you can find. Imagine stumbling upon a hidden cave during a thunderstorm, only to discover a rare electric-type Pokémon lurking within, or finding a secluded lake on a clear day, perfect for catching water-type Pokémon. The wild area is full of surprises, rewarding players who are willing to explore and experiment. It's a testament to the ambition of the developers, their desire to create a truly open and engaging world for players to explore. It's a far cry from the linear routes of previous games, offering a level of freedom and choice that was previously unheard of in the Pokémon franchise. And it's not just the gameplay that sets Galar apart. The region itself is a vibrant and compelling setting, drawing inspiration from the landscapes and culture of Great Britain. From the rolling hills of the countryside to the industrial cities of the north, Galar is a region of contrasts. You'll explore charming villages with thatched roofs, bustling cities with towering skyscrapers, and ancient ruins that hint at a rich and complex history. The architecture, the fashion, even the accents of the characters, all are infused with a distinct British flavour. It's a subtle but effective way of immersing players in the world, making Galar feel like a real and believable place. Think about the bustling city of Motorstock, inspired by the industrial heartlands of England. The towering factories, the smoky skies, the working-class atmosphere. It's a stark contrast to the idyllic countryside, but it's just as captivating. Or consider the charming town of Ballonlea, nestled deep within a mystical forest. The glowing mushrooms, the ethereal atmosphere, the sense of ancient magic. It's a place that feels straight out of a fairy tale. Galar isn't just a region, it's a character in itself, shaping the story and influencing the lives of its inhabitants. And at the heart of that story lies the theme of ambition. Everyone in Galar seems to be striving for something, whether it's becoming the champion, excelling in their chosen profession, or simply making a name for themselves. The gym leaders are celebrities, the trainers are ambitious, and even the Pokémon seem to have a competitive spirit. It's a world where hard work and determination are rewarded, where anyone can achieve their dreams if they're willing to put in the effort. And you, the player, are right there alongside them, striving to become the best trainer in the region. But Galar isn't just about individual ambition, it's also about legacy. The region is steeped in history, with ancient myths and legends that shape the present. The story of the Darkest Day, a cataclysmic event that threatened to destroy Galar, is a constant reminder of the importance of protecting the region's future. The legendary Pokémon Zacian and Zamazenta, the heroes who saved Galar from the Darkest Day, are revered as symbols of hope and courage. Their story is passed down through generations, inspiring people to stand up for what they believe in and to fight for the greater good. Think about the ancient tapestries that depict the story of the Darkest Day hanging in the halls of Hammerlock, or the statues of Zacian and Zamazenta that stand guard over the region, reminding everyone of their sacrifice. Galar is a place where the past is always present, shaping the future and inspiring the next generation of heroes. And speaking of heroes, let's not forget the rivals you encounter on your journey. Marnie, Bede, and Hop, each with their own unique motivations and goals. They push you to become a better trainer, challenging you to overcome your weaknesses and to strive for greatness. Marnie, the stoic and determined trainer from Spikemuth, is driven by a desire to prove herself and to protect her hometown. Bede, the arrogant and ambitious trainer from Stowonside, is determined to become the champion and to earn the approval of Chairman Rose. And Hop, your childhood friend and rival, is striving to follow in the footsteps of his older brother, the undefeated champion Leon. These rivals aren't just obstacles to overcome, they're complex and compelling characters who add depth and richness to the story. They challenge your assumptions, push you to your limits, and ultimately help you to become a better trainer and a better person. The story of Sword and Shield isn't just about catching Pokémon and winning battles, it's about ambition, legacy, friendship, and the importance of protecting the world around you. It's a story that resonates with players of all ages, reminding us that even in a world of fantasy, there are important lessons to be learned. The cooperative raid battles, the expansive wild area, the British-inspired setting. All of these elements combine to create a truly unique and unforgettable Pokémon experience. Galar is a region that will stay with you long after you've finished the game, a testament to the power of imagination and the enduring appeal of the Pokémon franchise. But even with all the new additions, with the Dynamax phenomenon shaking stadiums and the wild area brimming with adventure, one question still lingered in the minds of players. Could the core formula, the very essence of Pokémon, evolve further? Could we truly rewrite the rules of engagement? Next, we journey into a past, a time of untamed wilderness, where the relationship between humans and Pokémon was entirely different. Chapter 9, Hisui, Legends and Lore. Imagine a world stripped bare of modern comforts, a time when humanity's relationship with Pokémon was something different. A world where catching Pokémon wasn't a fun hobby, but a crucial skill for survival. That's the Hisui region. Forget everything you thought you knew about the Sinnoh region, because this is its ancient form, a land teeming with wild, untamed Pokémon and a sense of danger lurking around every corner. Pokémon Legends, Arceus throws you headfirst into this raw, almost primordial version of a world we thought we knew so well. And it does so with a bold new approach to gameplay. Gone are the rigid routes and predetermined encounters. Hisui is a sprawling open world begging to be explored. Imagine vast, windswept plains, snow-capped mountains piercing the sky, and dense, mysterious forests, all seamlessly connected, ripe for discovery. But this isn't just a pretty backdrop. The environment is a character, influencing Pokémon behavior, weather patterns, and even the very challenges you face. Remember those carefully planned battles of the past? While turn-based combat is still present, it's been injected with a shot of adrenaline. You can now move freely around the battlefield, dodging attacks, strategically positioning yourself, and even choosing between different combat styles. Strong style for power, agile style for speed. This creates a dynamic, almost cinematic feel to battles, making each encounter feel more visceral and engaging. But the real innovation lies in how you interact with Pokémon of battle. Forget simply tossing a Pokéball and hoping for the best. In Hisui, you're a researcher, an explorer, a pioneer. You need to Pokémon in their natural habitats, learn their behaviors, and adapt your approach accordingly. Some Pokémon are docile and easily approached, while others are aggressive and will attack on sight. Some are drawn to specific items, while others are only active at certain times of day. It's a constant learning process, a thrilling dance between hunter and hunted, where patience and observation are just as important as raw battling power. Think of it like this. You spot a shy, elusive Snorunt nestled in a snowdrift. Instead of immediately charging in for a battle, you might try tossing a berry to distract it, allowing you to sneak closer and catch it off guard. Or perhaps you notice a pack of aggressive Starly guarding a valuable resource. You might need to use stealth and cunning to avoid detection, or find a way to lure them away from their post. This emphasis on observation and adaptation fundamentally changes the way you interact with Pokémon, making each encounter feel unique and meaningful. And speaking of meaningful encounters, let's talk about the story. Pokémon Legends. Arceus isn't just about catching them all, it's about unraveling the mysteries of Hisui, understanding the origins of Pokémon, and forging a connection between humans and these extraordinary creatures. You play as a member of the Galaxy Expedition team, tasked with surveying the region and creating the very first Pokédex. But as you venture deeper into the wilderness, you begin to uncover a series of strange and unsettling events. Pokémon are behaving erratically, powerful noble Pokémon are rampaging through the land, and a mysterious space-time rift is tearing apart the sky above Mount Coronet. It's up to you to uncover the cause of these disturbances and restore balance to the region. But this isn't just a simple quest to save the world. The story delves into complex themes of faith, tradition, and the delicate balance between humanity and nature. You'll encounter a cast of intriguing characters, each with their own beliefs, motivations, and secrets. You'll have to navigate complex social dynamics, forge alliances, and make difficult choices that will shape the future of Hisui. Think about the Diamond and Pearl clans, two warring factions who revere powerful Pokémon as deities. You'll need to earn their trust, understand their traditions, and ultimately help them find common ground. Or consider the enigmatic Ginkgo Guild, a group of traveling merchants who hold valuable knowledge about the region and its Pokémon. You'll need to barter with them, uncover their hidden agendas, and learn to separate fact from fiction. These encounters add depth and nuance to the story, making it far more than just a simple monster-catching adventure. But perhaps the most compelling aspect of Pokémon Legends, Arceus, is its exploration of the origins of the Pokémon world. This isn't just a historical setting for the sake of aesthetics. The game actively explores the lore and mythology that underpins the entire Pokémon universe. You'll learn about the legendary Pokémon Arceus, the creator of all things, and its connection to the Hisui region. You'll uncover ancient ruins and artifacts that shed light on the origins of Pokémon and their relationship with humanity. You'll even encounter Pokémon in forms never before seen, regional variants that have adapted to the unique environment of Hisui. Imagine stumbling upon a Growlithe, not fiery orange and black, but a majestic white and grey, with flowing fur and a calm, serene demeanour. Or encountering a Zorua, not consumed by spite, but filled with playful curiosity. These Hisuian forms aren't just cosmetic changes. They represent the power of adaptation, the way Pokémon evolve and change in response to their environment. And they offer a tantalizing glimpse into the past, suggesting that the Pokémon we know and love today are just the latest iteration in a long and ever-evolving lineage. But how does all of this affect the core gameplay loop? It's simple. Everything you do in Hisui, from catching Pokémon to completing research tasks, contributes to your understanding of the region and its inhabitants. As you fill out your Pokédex, you'll unlock new crafting recipes, gain access to new areas, and earn the trust of the local communities. This creates a sense of progression that feels organic and rewarding. You're not just grinding for experience points, you're actively contributing to the advancement of knowledge, the understanding of the Pokémon world. And speaking of crafting, let's talk about another key innovation in Pokémon Legends, Arceus. In Hisui, you're not just a trainer. You're a survivalist, a resource gatherer, a master crafter. You'll need to collect materials from the environment to create Pokeballs, potions, and other essential items. Imagine foraging for apricorns in the forest, mining ore in the mountains, and harvesting herbs in the fields. You'll need to learn which materials are most valuable, where to find them, and how to combine them to create the items you need. This adds a layer of depth and complexity to the gameplay, making you feel more connected to the world and more responsible for your own survival. But crafting isn't just about creating essential items. It's also about customizing your experience. You can craft different types of Pokeballs, each with its own unique properties. You can craft different types of potions, each with its own healing effects. You can even craft different types of clothing, allowing you to personalize your appearance and adapt to the changing weather conditions. This level of customization allows you to tailor the game to your own play style, creating a truly unique and personal experience. And let's not forget the rideable Pokémon. In Hisui, you're not limited to walking on foot. You can summon certain Pokémon to help you traverse the vast landscapes. Imagine soaring through the sky on the back of a Braviary, skimming across the water on the back of a Basculegion, or scaling treacherous cliffs on the back of a Weirdeer. These rideable Pokémon not only make exploration faster and more efficient, but they also add a new dimension to the gameplay. You can use them to reach previously inaccessible areas, discover hidden secrets, and even engage in aerial battles. They become your trusted companions, your partners in adventure, forging a bond that transcends the simple trainer-Pokémon relationship. But what about the challenges? Hisui is not a forgiving land. The Pokémon are wild, the environment is harsh, and the dangers are real. You'll face powerful alpha Pokémon, oversized and aggressive versions of regular Pokémon that pose a significant threat. You'll need to use all your skills and resources to defeat them, and even then, victory is not guaranteed. You'll also face challenging environmental puzzles, requiring you to use your Pokémon's abilities to overcome obstacles and reach new areas. And of course, you'll face the rampaging noble Pokémon, massive and powerful creatures that have been driven mad by the space-time rift. These noble Pokémon battles are unlike anything you've seen before in a Pokémon game. They're not just about battling, they're about calming the noble Pokémon, restoring their sanity, and helping them regain control. You'll need to use a combination of dodging, throwing bombs, and battling to succeed, creating a thrilling and challenging experience. But the challenges in Hisui are not just about combat, they're also about survival. You'll need to manage your resources carefully, avoid dangerous weather conditions, and be aware of your surroundings at all times. You'll need to learn to read the signs of the wilderness, to understand the behavior of Pokémon, and to adapt to the changing environment. This emphasis on survival adds a layer of realism and immersion to the game, making you feel like you're truly living in the world of Pokémon. So, what does all of this mean for the future of the Pokémon franchise? Pokémon Legends, Arceus is not just a spin-off, it's a bold experiment, a new direction for the series. It demonstrates that the Pokémon formula can be adapted and evolved in exciting and unexpected ways. It shows that the franchise can embrace open-world exploration, dynamic combat, and a deeper, more complex story without losing its core appeal. and it suggests that the future of Pokémon may lie in exploring the past, in uncovering the origins of the Pokémon world, and in forging a deeper connection between humans and these extraordinary creatures. But beyond the gameplay innovations and the compelling story, Pokémon Legends, Arceus offers something even more profound, a sense of wonder. It reminds us why we fell in love with Pokémon in the first place. It captures the thrill of discovery, the joy of exploration, and the magic of connecting with these incredible creatures. It's a game that invites you to get lost in its world, to immerse yourself in its lore, and to forge your own legend in the ancient land of Hisui. It's a reminder that the world of Pokémon is vast, mysterious, and full of endless possibilities. And it's a testament to the enduring power of imagination. Think about it. From humble beginnings on the Game Boy to sprawling open worlds on the Nintendo Switch, Pokémon has consistently pushed the boundaries of what's possible. It has captured the hearts and minds of millions of people around the world, and it continues to evolve and inspire new generations of trainers. Pokémon Legends. Arceus is just the latest chapter in this incredible story, a testament to the enduring power of the franchise and its ability to reinvent itself time and time again. It's a game that will challenge your assumptions, surprise your expectations, and leave you with a newfound appreciation for the world of Pokémon. So, if you're looking for a fresh and exciting Pokémon experience, look no further than Pokémon Legends Arceus. Prepare to embark on a journey to the past, to uncover the secrets of Hisui, and to forge your own legend in the ancient land of Pokémon. But while Hisui took us back to the dawn of Pokémon training, a new world awaited, one where the vast landscapes were not just open, but truly free to explore. A world that dared to ask, what happens when we let go of all the rules, and what strange new powers would we find there? Chapter 10. Paldea, Open World Freedom, the Paldea region. A sun-drenched land of vibrant colors, ancient mysteries, and a revolutionary approach to Pokémon training. Forget the linear paths of old. Forget the rigid structures of gyms and badges, at least in the way you expect. Here, you're unleashed into a sprawling open world, free to chart your own course, to define your own adventure. But what does open world mean in the context of Pokémon? Is it just a bigger map? A few more hidden items? Absolutely not. Paldea represents a fundamental shift in the Pokémon experience, a daring leap into uncharted territory that redefines what it means to be a Pokémon trainer. Imagine stepping off the bus from your hometown, not into a quaint little town, but into a vast expanse dotted with rolling hills, towering mountains, shimmering lakes, and bustling cities, all interconnected and ripe for exploration. The entire region is yours to discover at your own pace, in your own way. No more being funneled down a predetermined route. No more being forced to battle trainers in a specific order. You choose where to go, who to battle, and what to explore. The world reacts to your choices, evolves around you, and unfolds in ways that are uniquely your own. This freedom extends beyond mere exploration. It permeates every aspect of the game, from character customization to team building. You can personalize your trainer's appearance with an unprecedented level of detail, choosing from a wide array of clothing, hairstyles, and accessories. You can assemble your dream team from a diverse roster of Pokémon, old and new, and tailor their movesets and abilities to suit your unique battling style. And speaking of new Pokémon, Paldea is teeming with them. From the adorable Sprigatito, Fuecoco, and Quaxley, your initial partners on this grand adventure, to the majestic legendaries Koraidon and Miraidon, these creatures are as diverse and vibrant as the region itself. But Paldea isn't just about freedom and exploration, it's also about connection, about forging bonds with your Pokémon, with your friends, and with the world around you. And this is where the terrestrial phenomenon comes into play. Imagine a Pokémon shimmering with an otherworldly glow, its body encrusted with sparkling crystals. This is the power of terrestrializing, a unique ability that allows Pokémon in Paldea to transform into a new, more powerful form. But it's not just a cosmetic change. Terrestrializing alters a Pokémon's type, giving it access to new moves and strategies. A fire-type Pokémon, for example, could terrestrialize into a water type, turning its weaknesses into strengths and surprising unsuspecting opponents. The possibilities are endless, and the strategic depth is immense. You can use terrestrializing to create unexpected type matchups, to bolster your Pokémon's defenses, or to unleash devastating attacks. It's a game changer that adds a whole new layer of complexity to Pokémon battles. But the terrestrial phenomenon isn't just about battling. It's also about connection, about harnessing the energy of the Paldea region to unlock the hidden potential within your Pokémon. It's a testament to the bond between trainer and Pokémon, a symbol of their shared journey and their unwavering trust in one another. And speaking of journeys, Paldea offers not one, not two, but distinct storylines, each with its own unique challenges, characters, and rewards. First, there's the classic Gym Challenge, where you'll travel across the region, battling gym leaders and earning badges, just like in the good old days. But this time, you're not constrained by a linear path. You can challenge the gyms in any order you choose, adapting your team and your strategy to suit each individual leader. Then there's the Path of Legends, a thrilling quest to uncover the secrets of the Herba Mystica, rare and powerful herbs that are guarded by giant Titan Pokémon. These battles are epic in scale, testing your skills and your teamwork to the limit. Finally, there's Starfall Street, a rebellious adventure where you'll take on Team Star, a group of unruly students who have abandoned their studies to pursue their own dreams. These battles are fast-paced and chaotic, requiring you to think on your feet and to adapt to ever-changing circumstances. Each storyline offers a unique perspective on the Paldea region, exploring its history, its culture, and its hidden secrets. And as you progress through each story, you'll uncover new layers of complexity and depth, revealing the interconnectedness of all things in Paldea. But what truly sets Paldea apart is its focus on friendship, on building bonds with your Pokémon, with your friends, and with the world around you. The game encourages you to explore, to collaborate, and to share your experiences with others. You can team up with friends to tackle challenging raids, to explore the vast wilderness, or to simply hang out and chat. You can trade Pokémon, share tips, and compete in friendly battles. The game fosters a sense of community, a feeling of belonging that is both rewarding and enriching. And this sense of community extends beyond the game itself. The community is vibrant and passionate, filled with trainers from all walks of life who share a common love for these pocket monsters. You can connect with other trainers online, share your creations, and participate in tournaments and events. You can learn from the best, share your own knowledge, and contribute to the collective wisdom of the community. But beneath the vibrant colors and the exciting adventures, there lies a deeper theme in Paldea, the exploration of the future. The region is filled with futuristic technology, from the sleek and stylish architecture to the advanced transportation systems. The legendary Pokémon Koraidon and Miraidon embody this theme perfectly. Koraidon, with its powerful legs and its primal energy, represents the strength and resilience of the past. Miraidon, with its sleek design and its futuristic technology, represents the innovation and potential of the future. These two Pokémon are not just powerful creatures. They are symbols of the choices we face as we move forward, of the balance between tradition and progress, between the natural world and the technological world. And as you journey through Paldea, you'll be forced to confront these choices, to weigh the pros and cons of each path, and to decide what kind of future you want to create. But how did this open-world paradise come to be? What inspired the developers to take such a bold leap into uncharted territory? The answer, as with so many things in the world of Pokémon, lies in a combination of innovation, tradition, and a deep understanding of what makes these games so special. The developers at Game Freak have always been committed to pushing the boundaries of the Pokémon experience. They've experimented with new gameplay mechanics, new storylines, and new ways to connect with other players. But they've also remained true to the core values of the franchise: exploration, discovery, and the bond between trainer and Pokémon. They've taken these values to their logical conclusion, creating a game that is both familiar and revolutionary, that honors the past while embracing the future. And the result is a truly remarkable achievement. A game that redefines what it means to be a Pokémon trainer, a game that invites you to explore, to connect, and to create your own unique adventure. but the impact of and extends far beyond the game itself. It has sparked a new wave of creativity, inspiring artists, writers and musicians to create their own interpretations of the Paldea region. From stunning fan art to epic soundtracks to insightful analyses, the community has embraced the game with open arms, celebrating its innovations and exploring its hidden depths. And this is perhaps the greatest testament to the game's success, its ability to inspire, to connect, and to bring people together. And are not just games. They are experiences, memories, and a shared love for these pocket monsters that have captured our hearts for so many years. So, as you embark on your own adventure in the Paldea region, remember that you are not alone. You are part of a global community of trainers, all united by a common passion. Explore, discover, connect, and create your own unique story. The world of Pokémon is waiting for you. The open world of Paldea, the terrestrial phenomenon, the three distinct storylines, the focus on friendship, and the exploration of the future. These are the defining features of and the 9th generation of Pokémon games. They represent a bold new direction for the franchise, a daring leap into uncharted territory that has captivated players around the world. But is this new direction a success? Does the open world structure enhance the Pokémon experience, or does it detract from it? Do the terrestrial phenomenon and the three storylines add depth and complexity to the game, or do they feel like unnecessary additions? And what about the themes of friendship and exploration? Are they effectively integrated into the game, or do they feel forced and contrived? These are important questions, and they deserve careful consideration. The answers, as always, are complex and nuanced. But one thing is certain, and have sparked a conversation, a debate about the future of the franchise, and that is a good thing. Because in order to grow, to evolve, and to remain relevant, the world of Pokémon must constantly adapt and innovate. It must embrace new ideas, challenge old assumptions, and push the boundaries of what is possible. And that is exactly what and have done. They have challenged us to rethink our assumptions about what a Pokémon game can be, and they have opened up new possibilities for the future of the franchise. But the story of Paldea doesn't end here. The mysteries of the terrestrial phenomenon, the secrets of the Herba Mystica, and the true nature of the futuristic technology that permeates the region are still waiting to be uncovered. And as we delve deeper into the lore of Paldea, we begin to uncover a hidden connection to the ancient past, a connection that may hold the key to understanding the future of the Pokémon world. But this discovery was only the beginning, because next we uncover the shocking truth behind the hidden dimensions and alternate realities that exist within the expansive Pokémon universe.